If you're over 50 and you go to bed feeling like you swallowed a balloon every single night, the problem isn't what you're eating. It's what your digestive system stopped doing 5 years ago. Did you know that after age 60, your stomach produces up to 40% less stomach acid than it did in your 30s? That's not aging gracefully. That's your biology working against you while you sleep. So why does every doctor tell you to eat smaller meals and avoid spicy food, yet you still wake up at 2 a.m. feeling like your stomach is staging a rebellion? And what is the one missing enzyme that could end this cycle in less than 10 days? In this video, you're not getting generic advice. You're getting the exact 3-step protocol that targets the root cause of nighttime bloating in seniors. And make sure you stick around for step number 3. It's a dirt-cheap drink that completely eliminated my father's chronic bloating in 11 days. And it's something your gastroenterologist probably never mentioned. First, let's be real for a second. It is incredibly frustrating when you finish dinner at 6 p.m., feel fine for an hour, and then by bedtime you're so bloated you can't even lie flat without discomfort. You're skipping social dinners, you're terrified of certain foods. I've watched my own parents deal with this. To fix this, we need to treat the root cause, not just pop antacids and hope for the best. Today, we're breaking this down into 3 parts. The digestive mechanism that breaks down after age 50 and why nobody warned you about it, the tactical nutritional solution you can start tonight, and that advanced nighttime protocol I mentioned that works when everything else has failed. By the end of this video, you won't just understand why seniors get bloated at night. You'll have a blueprint to fix it without eliminating half the foods you love. Most people think the answer is eating less or cutting out dairy and gluten. But here's why that backfires for people over 60. Your stomach is supposed to be acidic, like battery acid levels of acidic. That acidity breaks down protein, activates digestive enzymes, and kills harmful bacteria before it reaches your intestines. But after age 50, something called hypochlorhydria kicks in. That's the medical term for low stomach acid. And when your stomach acid drops, food just sits there, fermenting, producing gas, stretching your stomach like a water balloon. It's like trying to digest a steak with lemon juice instead of hydrochloric acid. You're not making progress, you're just creating a science experiment in your gut. And here's the cruel part. The symptoms of low stomach acid feel exactly like high stomach acid. So you take antacids, which makes the problem exponentially worse. You're treating fire with gasoline.
Now, the pharmaceutical companies love this. They've convinced an entire generation that heartburn equals too much acid. But in seniors, it's almost always the opposite. Your stomach is desperately trying to break down food with half the chemical firepower it used to have. And that bloating you feel at night? That's undigested food sitting in your upper GI tract, fermenting for hours, producing hydrogen and methane gas that has nowhere to go except up or down. Neither option is pleasant. Real quick, does this sound familiar? You eat a normal dinner, feel okay for an hour, then suddenly you're unbuttoning your pants and can't get comfortable. Drop a comment and let me know if you're dealing with this nightly or just occasionally. It actually matters for what I'm about to say next. Instead of suppressing acid, we need to restore it. And we need to support the 2 enzymes that decline the fastest as you age, pepsin and lipase. Pepsin breaks down protein. Lipase breaks down fat. When you're 30, your pancreas pumps these out like a factory. When you're 65, it's running on fumes. So what happens when you eat a piece of chicken or a handful of nuts at dinner? Without enough pepsin and lipase, those nutrients just sit in your stomach. Your body recognizes that food is there, but it can't process it efficiently. So it signals your gut bacteria to step in and help. But here's the problem. When bacteria break down food instead of stomach acid and enzymes, they produce gas as a byproduct. Lots of it. That's why you feel fine during the day when you're upright and moving. Gravity and movement help push things through. But the second you lie down at night, that gas gets trapped. It presses against your diaphragm. It creates pressure in your esophagus. And you spend the next 6 hours feeling like you're 9 months pregnant. Now, the medical establishment will tell you to take a PPI, a proton pump inhibitor like omeprazole. And sure, it'll stop the heartburn, but it does absolutely nothing for the bloating. In fact, it makes bloating worse because you're further reducing the stomach acid you desperately need. There's a reason PPIs were only approved for short-term use, 2 weeks max, but millions of seniors are on them for years, and the longer you're on them, the worse your digestion becomes. It's a pharmaceutical trap. So here's what you actually need. You need to replace what your body stopped making. This is the fix. We call this the Digestive Reset Protocol for seniors. Step 1. Apple cider vinegar before meals. 15 minutes before dinner, mix 1 tablespoon of raw, unfiltered apple cider vinegar in 4 ounces of water. Add a teaspoon of honey if you can't stand the taste.
This does 2 things. First, it lowers the pH in your stomach, mimicking the acidic environment you had in your younger years. Second, it kickstarts the production of pepsin, the enzyme that digests protein. Do this every single day before your largest meal. Within 3 days, you should notice less bloating. Within 10 days, it should be dramatically reduced. Step 2. Digestive enzymes with dinner. Take a broad-spectrum digestive enzyme supplement with your evening meal. Look for one that contains protease, lipase, and amylase. These replace the enzymes your pancreas isn't producing in sufficient quantities anymore. You want a supplement with at least 500 milligrams of betaine HCl if you have confirmed low stomach acid. But start with just enzymes if you're not sure. Betaine HCl can cause a warming sensation in your stomach, and that freaks some people out, even though it's harmless. I personally use one with ox bile in it because it helps with fat digestion, and fat is usually the hardest macronutrient for seniors to break down. But ox bile isn't necessary for everyone. Step 3. The nighttime flush. Here's the secret weapon I promised you earlier, the one thing that changed everything for my dad and dozens of seniors I've shared this with. 1 hour before bed, drink 8 ounces of warm water with half a teaspoon of ginger powder and a 1/4 teaspoon of fennel seeds. Let the fennel seeds steep for 5 minutes, then drink it slowly. Ginger is a prokinetic. That means it speeds up gastric emptying. It literally tells your stomach to move food into your intestines faster. Fennel is a carminative, which is a fancy word for something that reduces gas and bloating by relaxing the smooth muscles in your digestive tract. This combination does something pharmaceutical companies hate. It works, and it works fast. Within 20 minutes, you'll feel your stomach start to settle. Within an hour, that tight, uncomfortable bloating will be 70% gone. But here's the thing, you can't just do step 3 and skip steps 1 and 2. If you don't restore stomach acid and enzymes during the day, you're just treating the symptom at night. The bloating will come back. You need all 3 steps: apple cider vinegar before meals, enzymes with dinner, ginger fennel tea before bed. Do this for 2 weeks straight, and I promise you, the nighttime bloating that's been ruining your sleep for years will be a distant memory. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. This sounds too simple. If it worked, wouldn't my doctor have told me about it? Here's the uncomfortable truth. Your doctor gets about 4 hours of nutrition education in medical school. 4 hours out of 4 years. They're not trained to fix digestive issues with food and supplements. They're trained to prescribe medications. And the pharmaceutical industry has spent billions convincing doctors that acid reflux and bloating are best treated with acid-suppressing drugs. Not because it's the most effective solution, because it's the most profitable one. I'm not saying your doctor is malicious. I'm saying they're operating within a broken system that prioritizes symptom management over root cause solutions.
So if you want real results, you have to take your health into your own hands. And that starts with understanding what your body actually needs. Remember at the start I told you about the one change that eliminated my father's bloating in 11 days? The ginger fennel tea was it. He'd been on omeprazole for 3 years. His bloating was so bad he couldn't sleep lying down. He was sleeping in a recliner chair every night because the pressure in his stomach was unbearable. His doctor kept increasing the dose of his PPI. It did nothing. The bloating got worse. He was miserable. Then I convinced him to try this protocol. Within 4 days, he noticed a difference. Within 11 days, he was sleeping flat in his bed for the first time in years. Most experts ignore ginger and fennel because they're not patentable. You can't make billions off a 50-cent tea. But chemically, ginger contains compounds called gingerols and shogols that stimulate the vagus nerve, which controls gastric motility. Fennel contains anethol, which relaxes intestinal muscles and prevents gas buildup. When you combine them in warm water before bed, they work synergistically. The warm water itself helps relax your digestive tract. The ginger moves food out of your stomach faster. The fennel prevents the gas from forming in the first place. It's simple, it's cheap, and it works. And here's the best part. Unlike PPIs, which you have to wean off slowly because your stomach becomes dependent on them, you can stop this tea anytime. No rebound acid, no withdrawal, no side effects. Your body doesn't become dependent on ginger and fennel. It just uses them as tools to do what it's supposed to do naturally. So, to recap, you're stopping the antacids that are making your digestion worse. You're starting apple cider vinegar before meals to restore stomach acid. You're taking digestive enzymes with dinner to replace what your pancreas isn't producing. And you're absolutely prioritizing that ginger fennel tea, 1 hour before bed, to flush out gas and speed up digestion. This isn't a quick fix. This is a lifestyle change. But it's a change that will give you back your comfort, your sleep, and your confidence to eat normal meals again without fear. Now, I want to hear from you. Have you been struggling with nighttime bloating? Have you tried apple cider vinegar or digestive enzymes? Drop a comment below and let me know what's worked for you and what hasn't. And if you found this video helpful, do me a favor. Share it with someone over 60 who's dealing with digestive issues. This information could legitimately change their quality of life. Thanks for watching. Take care of your gut. It's the foundation of everything.